Hey everyone, my name is Courtney, founder of Sjögren's Girls Guide, a 34-year-old working wife and mom of 2 human children, many furry ones, and a lifelong member of the I had no idea what was wrong with me club. I was diagnosed with Sjögren's at age 31, but I'd been experiencing classic Sjögren symptoms since as young as I was 4. As a child, I dealt with things kids aren't supposed to deal with. Endless sore throats, getting sick constantly, never sweating normally, exhaustion that didn't make sense, and dryness and pain that I couldn't explain. Doctors ran tests, shrugged, referred me onward. One specialist turned into another, and then an endless referral cycle that quietly followed me into adulthood. By the time I was grown, the pattern was familiar. Something hurt, something failed, something felt off, and then I was off to a new doctor. That added up to well over 10 providers across nearly every specialty. Ophthalmologists for eyes, dermatologists for skin issues, OBGYNs for gynecological problems, dentists and endodontists for oral symptoms, primary care doctors for fatigue, and postpartum pain brushed off as hormones or depression. Each one only focused on a single body part. No one ever zoomed out. You've seen West Side Story, right? You know the Officer Krupke song where riff is passed from one authority figure to another, everyone agreeing something's wrong with him, but nobody able to name it? And what's the final verdict? He's just plain crazy. Yeah, that was me. At 31, after yet another referral, this time to my 6th OBGYN, I finally sat across from a provider who asked different questions. The kind of questions no one had ever stitched together before. She asked about my childhood, my water intake, skincare, deodorant, my eye, nose, mouth, joints, energy, hormones, history, and even my sex life. At one point, I genuinely asked, "Aren't I just here to talk about my vagina?" But she kept going anyway. In front of me, decades of scattered symptoms finally connected. When she said the word Sjögren's, I thought it was made up and a fancy medical term for anxious or maybe a hypochondriac. Instead, it was the first real answer I'd ever gotten. The dryness, pain, fatigue, headaches, dental issues, the strange constellation of symptoms that never seemed related suddenly formed a shape. And that moment just didn't give me a diagnosis, it gave me footing. Now, several years later, I can say this. Getting diagnosed didn't cure me, but it finally gave me a map and it gave me a language. Sjögren's forced me to learn something I resisted for years, putting myself on the priority list. As a mom and a professional, my instinct has always been to push through, to minimize, keep moving. But this disease taught me that ignoring my body doesn't make it quieter, it makes it louder. So now I rest. I medicate strategically, I carry drops with me everywhere. I reapply lip gloss without apology. I cancel plans when I have to, and I build my days around what my body can actually handle. And I stopped calling that a failure. People still ask, why don't you travel more? Why won't you visit? Why aren't you in the office? Why don't you leave the house ever? Or why are you always putting on lip gloss? When I explain how Sjögren's complicates being away from home, sometimes I get that look of polite skepticism. What they don't see is my reality. Cracked skin, deep body aches that feel like I ran a triathlon in my sleep, eyes that feel like sandpaper, a mouth that never has quite enough moisture, headaches that arrive uninvited, and lips so dry I could open my own chapstick kiosk. And yes, my vagina remains as temperamental as a toddler being asked to wear pants or turn off Paw Patrol. So when my purse looks like a pharmacy or I bow out early, I remind myself that not everyone gets a guided tour of my immune system. I explain calmly, this is what managing Sjögren's looks like, and it is allowed to. Over the years, my family and I have learned so much about how much environment matters. Home has become our sanctuary. We foster dogs and rescue through Border Trails Rescue in Illinois. We built a family wood shop so we can stay busy together at home where I'm comfortable and can control my environment. We figured out how to make joy fit inside the limits that my body gives me. And somewhere along the way, I stopped surviving quietly. I started advocating, speaking, building community, trying to make the version of me that was 24 years old sitting in a parking lot after another freaking normal lab panel feel less alone. Because if you're stuck in the referral cycle, questioning your sanity, being told everything looks fine while your body says otherwise, you are not crazy. Keep pushing, keep asking, keep switching providers, keep demanding whole body care. It took me 27 years to get a diagnosis. I will always say that out loud. Every problem has a solution. Sometimes that solution is a name. Sometimes it's a provider who listens. Sometimes it's learning how to live differently in a body that just needs more. And that's okay. And yes, becoming fluent in self-advocacy might be the only upside Sjögren's ever handed me. But before all this, I never noticed the poetry in Riff's name in West Side Story. Don't let yourself be riffed. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to my husband for grace on the brutal days, to this amazing community that has created a space for all of our voices, and to you, the ones scrolling at midnight, Googling symptoms, and wondering if anyone else lives like this. I see you. I believe you. Keep fighting for yourselves, and I'll be here fighting right beside you. Thank you.